Let's go ahead and jam in a call. Let's talk to Herman in New York. Herman, you're on the air.
Yes, hello, Alex. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I would like to know, what would you say are the top 5 best books to learn about the history of the New World Order, how it all started, etc.?
Number 1, Carroll Quigley, head of political science, Georgetown. He describes the entire left-right paradigm, how it's all controlled, the roundtable CFR groups that run our countries. If you want to know how the New World Order works, I would read The Rise and Decline of the Roman Empire by Gibbon. I would read None Dare Call It Conspiracy. So that is coming up. Let's go ahead. It's totally anti-New World Order. And I talked to Shooter again Friday, because he sent it to me weeks ago, wanted me to listen. I was so busy I didn't listen. And they hadn't pointed out it was also Stephen King. And I can't quit listening since it's just incredibly good music, and the King stuff is amazing. And I said, man, this sounds a lot like me. And Shooter said, no, I wrote it as if it's you. And so I've inspired it as this talk show host. And then King took it and changed it some. And so it's Stephen King, Alex Jones, and Shooter Jennings that I guess went into this, most of it Shooter Jennings. So that is coming up. I wasn't going to talk about it. I was going to leave it for tomorrow, but a listener brought it up. Never thought I'd be sitting here playing exclusive, breaking, premiering Stephen King, Shooter Jennings material. Okay, let's go to Pat in Oklahoma. You're on the air, Pat.
Thank you, Alex, for having me on your show.
Good to have you.
I've got a question. You've probably addressed this different times, and very soon all of us in the United States are going to be affected by the census people that are going to be coming to our doors.
Yes, I've been addressing it.
And
but go ahead.
Alex, suppose they ask some questions that we feel uncomfortable with. You know, are we going to go to jail, or like if we're on disability, or are we going to get the IRS? They're going to stick the IRS and audit us, or cut our disability checks, or put us in jail? Or
I have the complete answer for you. Do you want to add any more, or do you want me to go ahead and just...
No, that'll do it. I'll hang up and listen to you, Alex. I thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Pat. I appreciate your call. Okay. I've been on this since 1999. And we've covered it ad nauseum, and I should get back into it. We should do some census shows because everybody's asking me about it. And I have this blind spot where if I've covered something 50, 60 times, I don't cover it anymore. We have all these new listeners. We're on so many new AM and FM stations. Why do we have a census? Well, it started at Mount Sinai with Moses. What was it, 3,000 plus years ago? And he was told by Yahweh, Jehovah, to number the people of Israel. Now, fast forward to 1789. The United States has been formed. The Bill of Rights Constitution has been ratified by the 13 states, formerly colonies. And the way it works is each state gets 2 senators, but according to population, they get House members. And so the only reason for a census is to apportion, okay, there's this many people in Texas, there's this many in California, this many in New York, this many in Oklahoma. And so you get this many House members, and you get this many every 10 years, and that's how they apportion it. But government wants to force you and compel you to answer questions. Now, you have a Fifth Amendment. If the police pull you over and you have a car full of drugs, under the Bill of Rights, Fifth Amendment, you don't have to ever answer any questions. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. That's called Miranda, which goes back to the Fourth Amendment. If they catch you with dead bodies, you don't have to answer questions because they may plant dead bodies on you. The point is that federal judges have ruled, one in Texas back in 2000, that you don't have to answer questions except for who lives in this house. That is, there's 5 people, there's 2 people, there's 1 person in this apartment. They can't come in. They can't ask any other questions. And if you read the census forms, and they have one version that has 7 questions and one that has 50 and one that has 200, and they have an American Communities business one that has 500 plus. I've gotten one of these. And in 2000, this guy comes to my door, and he says, you didn't fill out your whole census thing. And I said, give me the census form. I said, because I happened to get the long form that year. They had 50 back then. And I happened to be 1 in 6 households that got the longer one. And I said, look, you ask, how many people live here? And you have U.S. code and law that I have to answer that. But it looks like the whole document. They know they have no jurisdiction or no law. But they'd say, this under law and under penalty of prison time and misdemeanors, you must answer it. But that's underneath. The U.S. Code is under the first question. That's the only one they can ask. But then it looks like, to the uninformed, that the entire thing is something you have to answer. What type of toilet do you have? What are your stocks and bonds? Do you own a firearm? Now, fast forward to 2009, 2010. 2009, they first send out census workers to go to every door and mark the GPS marker of the front door that has dual use for the military and law enforcement as well, and that later came out. Now there's all these cases of census workers coming and banging on doors, threatening to arrest people if you don't answer all their questions. Now the second wave is here. You don't have to answer any of it. They can't come in your house. There's been cases now in 2000 and now in 2009, 2010, where they're forcing their way in, demanding you let them in. The police can't do that. But they have these people with a little plastic badge that they're a census worker. And I have this guy at my door threaten me. That was me arrested. And I said, look, Fifth Amendment, get off my property right now. And so I just wouldn't answer the door. I would fill out the census form. The Fifth Amendment says you don't have to even give them your name. But the point is, give them, if you want, give them your name. Don't lie on it, because then that does create lying to federal officer stuff. Your name and who lives there. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's all. That's all you've got to do. That's even more than you've got to do. And that's what I do. And I tell them, get off my property. They haven't shown up yet. And if they do show up and demand I do it, they can go straight to Hades. I am not doing it. I have a Fifth Amendment under the Bill of Rights that was fought and died for, and I'm not going to be part of it, period. Okay, let's go to Ken in Texas. Ken, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for taking my call. First time to get through to you. I'm a prison planning member for over a year now. I sent you a DVD several months ago. I don't know if you saw it, but it was on chemtrails. I'm in Dallas. And I just wanted to say that they've just been massively spraying today.
Well, by the way, it's now been declassified. The first press conference John P. Holdren, White House science czar, gave was to admit there's been a secret program manipulating the atmosphere. We added to jet fuel. It's sprayed out to create artificial clouds to protect you from global warming. Totally made up. And Microsoft admits they're involved. Bill Gates and weather modification. In fact, Google that for folks. They won't believe it. Microsoft patents weather control. And, yes, there's a giant program. These guys want to play God. They want to surveil everybody, know what you're doing, control the weather. It's real. And, yes, we did get your DVD.
And I know you don't have a lot of time to get to making a DVD on it. I kind of wanted to ask you what...
Sir, we're going to make a chemtrail film. We're on it right now.
Okay, that's great. I'm looking forward to that. I just worry about breathing it, and it's a concern of mine. So
well, yeah, they claim that the barium salt and aluminum dioxide is to form artificial nuclei for cloud condensation to be created. But the barium salt, aluminum dioxide also ends up in the jet stream and falls all over the planet, does cause neurological disorders and all other sorts of problems.
So I just feel like it should be on one of the top of our concerns, but I know there's so much tyranny going on. It's hard to get it all in.
Ken, good job.
In the Fed rally.
Go ahead, in the Fed rally.
I was there with you in Dallas.
God bless you, sir. Good to hear from you, Ken. Travis in North Carolina, you're on the air.
Hi. Good day to you, Mr. Jones.
Good day.
I'd like to get right down to the point. I was going down to New Mexico to talk on one of their AM radio stations because I tend to do that a lot. I'm kind of like the Alex Jones of my area.
Good.
But, I'd agree with you. That's very good. But getting back to the point, I went down there. We were at a border checkpoint getting back to the ATF thing. They pulled us over to secondary, which is their form of searching people further than what they need to be searched, pretty much, and without a warrant.
Yeah, the L.A. Times admits, and they have these 100 miles in some areas, that they just pull you over, take your laptop, download it. They only seem to harass citizens, and the illegals are all in sanctuary cities and left alone. So what happened to you?
Well, what happened, we were videotaping the Border Patrol point because it was 56 miles. I looked at it on a map. It's 56 miles away from the border, and it was just a few miles away from the radio station where we were at. And they pulled us over for videotaping, and they searched us. They took our camera, broke the tape, broke the camera, and when I told them that I wouldn't give them the 3 toy guns that I had because I was doing a segment on the ATF taking the toy guns, they forced me out of my car, tased me.
I know. Hold on. We've seen the videos of them tasing.